Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today I am here with the chief designer and the president of REL Acoustics, John Hunter.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
We're back again.
Back again. John's one of my heroes. I mean, I got to tell you something. We love REL at Upscale Audio, and he's come out here for an event we're going to have tomorrow night.
Yep.
Big group of people coming in. We're going to have you here. We're going to have Andrew Jones from Mophie. Talking about his source point. You're going to be hooking up your subs with different things and showing people, I mean, what REL is all about in the musicality.
We out of COVID, we finally get to do six-pack demos for your customers and show all this stuff.
And we're going to go to my house tonight, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
And we're going to talk about six-packs for the Casa del Kevin. And then the people from Mophie brought me this as a gift. Jeff Beck Truth on a Mophie. Oh my God, sometimes it's good to be Kevin. I remember this. Oh, I remember this from when I was a kid. This is like...
And he just passed.
Yes.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
So,
all
appropriate.
So we were waxing poetic about all the old stuff that we have, and John is like me, we're a collector of old things, right?
Absolutely. And we were sitting here, going over the stuff that we used to do during COVID, right? We were working all day and then playing all night.
Yeah.
Right? So what COVID brought me, and I think it brought a lot of people, was reconnecting with the stuff that really brings you joy. Right? I know friends that got big into like their vintage cars. They've been neglecting them for 20 years. Suddenly they're on the phone with the guy that can get them, the right speedometer for their 2002 BMW. I mean, everybody was just realizing I should do the stuff that matters to me. We may not be here in 6 months or a month or whatever. So we were all engaging with that. In my case, I was doing a lot of looking at night for cool used vintage stuff that was the dreams of my youth, when I was 18, 24, 30, whatever. So I realized, gosh, very slowly, like people think I'm smart, I'm really slow at this stuff. It took me like 2 years to go, oh gosh, some of the stuff I bought, we don't make a sub that really complements that anymore, which is really why the Classic 98 was born.
Yeah.
Right? Really. And you, you're an inveterate collector. Tell me some of the stuff you have.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've got the Rafters. I've mentioned it before. I've got the Dahlquist DQM9s, which I don't know why I love those so much. Back when I was selling hi-fi at this one store back in around 1980, and I wanted to get they say a young man wants to leave home and an old man wants to go home.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And that's where it's at now. I mean, but I'm not really buying anything now. It's not like I could go, well, I need a pair of JBL L300s, like I'm going to do something with them, right? I mean, the speakers that I have now, I've got really, really good stuff. I just don't need to be collecting anymore. I got enough. One day I will semi-retire and dig it all out and recap some
really
old
have fun.
amps and have some fun with it. But the thing is, you guys wanted to do something to help people out that might have a pair of either JBL Jubals, L65s, right?
Sure.
Or that might have...
Classic Klipsch's, right? Those heritage stuff that they're putting out, their new stuff, by the way, is magnificent, I got to tell you. We had so much fun last year with the Cornwalls and 1510s.
Yep.
But whether it's new, I'm going to call it retro product, right? There's the KLH people that make the KLH5s and all that. There's a whole raft of things. There's a bunch of things going on, right? I would say mid-century modern has been absolutely hot as a pistol in all things design for the last 15 to 20 years. It never really went away as the cool thing. And then as boomers aged out and as young people grew into really appreciating what things like, Eames lounge chairs could do, it's like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing thing to sit in. It just took on a whole new life. And, and the things that we're doing, this is really, in my mind, this is more of an homage to Richard Lord and the stuff that he did that was legendary from about 98 to 2002. There was an era that you were a dealer for.
Yep.
It was a magical time in the industry. And as I started acquiring some of these new old toys, I realized that we really didn't have a solution that was authentic for vintage equipment. So we went back into the Wayback Machine. I have a dear friend, Eric, who is a genius at driver design. And we talk through things. I give him parameters. He instantly, we just speak almost in code at this point. The conversation is like 5 minutes long. And 2 3 weeks later, I get a driver. And I get it in. I'll break it in, do about 1-2 days of listening to it, and I'll take notes as I go along, and I call him back, and I go, listen, great start, right? I can hear the surround's perfect, bass cone's right, you know, we're missing some stiffness here, or I need a different paper than this. This is giving it up. When you start pounding on it, it just starts to lose it. So we very quickly worked through this. This was like a known labor of love, right? I literally took all of our dimensions, the basic scale off of an old Storm 3 that I've had in my bedroom for an age, 20 years. I don't know, it's just been sitting there, and I have a little blanket over it, and you know, occasionally I'll set like a cup of tea down or something like that. I haven't used it in ages, but there it is. And so I went, well, that was the one where the proportions were the most perfect. So that became the physical modeling of it. Of course, a Storm 3, if it were on this table, would be about this tall and about this big by so. So we said, how do we get that sound? That it's a big, lush, warm, comfy sound. You know, before we started the cameras up, where I was talking about it, it's like, to me, it's like a pair of old loafers. You know, when you hear those old RELs, you just go, oh, your shoulders drop. You just go, oh yeah. And it just puts out this huge carpet of deep bass because it's just got a downfiring driver. So it's not about speed and transient attack and all the modern things that we can do with better drivers, crossovers, and all that. It just makes you happy. Like, it's a whole different vibe, and it's great. Everybody, it just seems to be connecting with people at a really basic. You know, I get these calls, I get these texts shown to me by the guys on my team. I just got this in from this dealer. This is what I remember. This is so cool. You know, it's a trip down memory lane. So it's been really gratifying. You want to show them some of how we did this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love the cabinet. Like you said, you want something where the significant other, I mean, you could fit this in just about anywhere, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not obtrusive at all.
It's tiny.
But the thing is, with what you're able to do with drivers now compared to a long time ago, I think you can achieve a lot, can't you, in a smaller package, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy what we're getting.
I got to say something. What year did you acquire REL?
We bought it in 2005.
Okay, let me tell you something. What you have done with that company after being able to take total control of it is, I don't even know how to put it, and the way that you have changed people's systems and the way they understand what woofers can do. Listen, this is not about just adding bass. If that's what you think it is, that's not what REL is about. It is about increasing soundstage. It's about better mid-range, and it's like, oh my God. And I mean, just today we've got so many RELs going into customers, right? You saw what was going on.
I saw that stacks of stuff going on.
Right. Anyway, forgive me. So go ahead and let us know what's going on here.
No, so what we did, the only thing that we borrowed from, we'll show you the back panel in just a moment, I'm itching to, is we decided to use a relatively new 300 watt Class D amplifier we've been using. We're known for our Class ABs and the TXs. It was too easy to do that. We could have easily done that. But this amp, there's something about it. It's delicate, it's incisive, and then it's really powerful down deep. So we cheerfully only commit to something like 26 hertz, 27 hertz. It'll go significantly deeper than that. We always would rather under-promise and over-deliver.
Okay.
So that is as close to modern as we get in this. Everything else, we're using our filters, of course, but we worked really hard to voice this thing to sound authentically real. For those of you who don't know it, when Donald and I owned Sumiko, we were the international importers and distributors for REL, for Sonos Faber, Vienna, Acoustics, SME. I did all the cartridges for Sumiko for, I don't know, 25 years or something. So this was a trip back into my memory. This was not a hard project to do because I didn't have to go back and research what would an old REL sound like. It's all up here. I've got thousands of stored memories of setting up, storms and stratas and stadiums and all that. For those of you who know the old REL stuff, and I was talking about this with my old friend Alan Hager, who now is running audio research, and we concluded that it falls somewhere between the then $3,000 stadium and the $4,500 that eventually became $6,000 Stentor. So it's fully the equivalent of something in sort of the $4,000 price point back in '98.
A long time ago.
A long, long time ago. Today, if we were to just duplicate those, they'd be 10, 15, 20,000 pieces. Anyway, it's a great piece. As you said, it's small. My favorite little invisible design detail, if you look really carefully, you'll see we've got gloss black REL logo on matte black.
Oh,
Way down.
fabulous. Yeah, I love
Really
that.
subtle.
Yeah, you can barely see it. It's almost, you know.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
it's not designed to call attention to itself.
Nope.
It just breaks up the surface a little
Beautiful,
bit.
beautiful.
And then I will confess, Kevin and I are inveterate car guys. There was a color that Mercedes did, and I believe it was only for the 280s. So from like 1969 to 1971, both the 280s and also that, what was it, gosh, it was the 3.5 liter V8, but it was the big coupe version with the cabriolet.
Okay.
And so it was the first time they put a V8 into that model. And they did this beautiful white gold finish. So I tracked down that color, and we were able to use that for the knobs. I'm sure they look like silver. When you see it in real life, it's a beautiful light white gold. It just, the old REL gold was a very heavy, rich yellow gold. And I just felt like we'd moved beyond that societally. It just didn't feel right for this. So we kept the gold, but we took them back 3 clicks, and they just look beautiful. Very expensive and subtle.
And Porsche used this color too on the 997.2 GT3 RS. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You could get it with white, gold, gray gold, and that's my favorite color. And if I could afford it, I would own one. And now, just looking at this color, it's giving me a Woody. So, forgive me. Go ahead.
I'll be leaving the stage in a moment. All right, and as with the TXs, we give you both the 0.1 LFE input and a single low-level input. So if you're going to do stereo pairs with this, you're going to need to have stereo subs. Just a quick word to the wise. And of course, our vaunted high-level input, which is really what REL is known for, the ability to take what your amp is feeding your speakers and feed it forward into our subs.
Right.
It's been said many times, but we can't possibly do our job of keeping up with your speakers if we're taking an inherently different sounding signal off of, say, your preamp and shoving this in, and that's the only thing we have. I will say, and this gets missed a lot, our high-level filter and the low-level use the identical filter, right? High-level is just a step-down circuit to allow us to take that input from your power amplifier and knock it down. These are identical filters, so if you're using something like a very high-efficiency horn, like a Klipsch or an Avant-Garde or something like that, and you have to come off of the preamp, don't feel like you're being shorted. It's not happening. It's exactly the same filter set, right? Anyway, it's a beautiful piece that, you know, this is a trip back in the Wayback Machine. This is exactly like the way Richard used to do the rear panels. Because we hate seeing things rust, we insisted on doing the stainless steel bolts. It just
Instead of the old ones, because the old ones were black.
The old ones were black, yeah, they were oil dipped, and
they would,
sometimes they'd rust.
Yeah, sometimes they'd rust. Yeah, yeah, nice touch.
So there you go. It's just a great piece. Everybody who's reviewed it so far has commented how fast you set this up. It's so easy. You just go plunk it down. It's like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Oh yeah. And how much is it? Well, you know what? We shouldn't say what the price is. Go click in the description, because sometimes that changes. I find the price to be, as they always are, with REL, to be, you know, you guys are always about giving people a good value. You know, that's what I dig about you, John, and you've always been real with me and real with customers.
It's really, to me, it's really important. I love our big stuff. Our refs are incredible. You know, if I can do better anytime in the future, I will. That's how I feel about them. I'll just fold them in. I'll do it, you know, and I won't charge a penny more if I can do it. So that's like our bleeding edge. That's where we're always working. But I remember not being wealthy. And I remember how finding stuff that was really, really carefully considered, but not insanely expensive, meant something to me. Like at that time in my life, I was like, oh my gosh, I can own a little piece of the pie and feel good about myself. So, you know, I think Kevin has that too in him. You know, we grew up middle-class kids. We made something of ourselves. So when I do my designs, I'm thinking of my 18-year-old self.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, I was less than middle class, I can assure you. So I know what it's like to push my nose up against the glass at the stereo store.
And know
when I was 14, you know. God, oh, I love it. Well, this is just fabulous.
The veneer, I just love this. It's just this rich. You know, look, all the lights and things. Every time I've seen this thing photographed, it kind of looks yellow brown. It's this dark, saturated, rich mocha brown. It is so lovely.
Yep.
And one of our guys, I sent it to you guys. One of our fellows in the field, a regional for us here, sent me a picture of the clips. I guess it must have been the, what are the big ones? Not the Cornwalls, the ones right below that.
The Fortes?
No. So there's the Clips
Heresies.
ones and the ones just below
There's
the
the
Heresies.
well, the La Scalas.
La Scalas, thank you.
Oh.
And this dealer had put them out in walnut. Beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I don't think any of us had ever seen a walnut one before
Yeah.
at this age. And he had this right next to it, and it was
Yeah.
a perfect match.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
Yeah. And La Scalas are an amazing speaker, but they don't have a lot of bottom end. People look at them and they go, oh, that's got a lot of bass. No, they don't have a lot of bass. That's not what that speaker is about. But you add a pair of these, and you're going to be firing on all cylinders. Oh my God, look. I want to thank John Hunter for coming here. I want you to know that our salespeople are all very well read. I mean, they're down here all the time working with my team. They're not on commission. You know, I never want them on commission because I don't like being sold shit, right? I want somebody to just have a good time with, and I hope that we have a good time with you. I want to thank John for coming down. Come to our website. Come to our beautiful 10,000 square foot store at Upscale Audio. We're going to treat your system like it's ours, and I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Kev.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.